of becoming a techno wizard. And today I'm going to be sharing my newsletter here on this channel, the newsletter of the Journal of TechnoWizardry, where I write about, my learnings and lessons and ideas around how to change the world for the better. All right. So this newsletter I wrote really the last 6 months of 2021, and I finally finished it right before the end of the year, and it ended up being around 20,000 words of me just sharing, all the stuff I've learned over the last year, 2 years, or longer around how to change the world. Right. A lot of it is anarchist because that seems to be the best way we have of really making meaningful change on a large scale. So I want to share this newsletter because I got a lot of great feedback about it from the few people who read it, but not enough people read it, right? I've been trying to get the word out there, but I don't have a big, channel. So what I'm going to do, because it's so long as well, I'm going to cut this up, right? I'm going to read through each section as little videos, little streams, so that if you have questions or comments or anything about any of these sections, you can, do it on each of these videos. So hopefully it's more accessible, it's more interactive, and it's more easily shareable. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So it starts off with a new story of humanity. As I said, it's a year in review of how to change the world. I like this little quote. I'm not sure if it's a real quote from Rosa Parks about one person can change the world, because indeed, it only takes one person to, say, have enough and just do their best, and that one person can be you or me or that person. It could be any of us, all of us. And the more of us believe that we can change the world, the more likely the world is to change. So that's why I really like that quote, and it's beautiful, beautiful picture. But anyways, I begin as such. What if we could actually save the world in our lifetime? What if we could solve just about every single problem that ails our now global society so that our kids or grandkids can live in an indubitably better world? What if I told you that we can do all of that for the low, low price of, well, free, as in actually being free, embracing the freedom we all want? Too good to be true? Impossible? What if I told you that this is not utopian? This is not about building some perfect world, just a better one. Our descendants will still have their own problems to deal with, but at least they won't have to deal with the problems we gave to them, that we inherited, from our own forebears. To be even more realistic, at the very least, we can give them a super clear understanding of what those problems are and the wisdom of how to deal with them. Would you be open then? Either way, hear me out. Theoretically, how will we build that world? I think it starts with first realizing that we can actually build it. We have to show that these problems are not insurmountable or inevitable or intractable. Then we have to identify all of the major problems we face today and their first principles, the underlying causes of those problems. After we identify those roots, we can trace them back to understand how those problems came to be, and thus see what needs to be weeded out to uproot and fundamentally solve those issues. Finally, we can visualize what a world would look like with these problems solved, because we need hope, right? If we ever want to actually commit to taking on such a Herculean task. So let's do that. So here's a TLDR of the entire newsletter. My entire premise in one word: hierarchies. Here it is in a sentence. Hierarchies are the source of pretty much all of our problems due to the enforcement of decision making power imbalances. Therefore, the solution is to systematically dismantle them and create structures that encourage freedom and equality, i.e., egalitarianism. In a paragraph, the development of human intelligence seems to relate very closely with the development of pro-social behaviors and egalitarianism. However, as the environment changed and it became easier to develop sedentary societies, so too did it become easier to hoard resources. The hoarding of resources created incentives to skew the balance of decision making power towards some people, mostly dominant males, at the expense of all others. This unbalanced playing field created the conditions for hierarchies to exist, which naturally seeks to justify its own existence by propagandizing the world as belonging to a natural order, where certain people naturally deserve to be above others. This authoritarian ideology is fundamentally against freedom and equality. If we want to build a better future, we need to dismantle these hierarchical structures, rebalance the playing field to favor egalitarianism, and decolonize our minds to stop thinking hierarchies of power are natural or a necessary evil. In other words, the central reason why the world is so fucked up, excuse my language, is because of power structures. Because we stabilize a system where people have advantages and bargaining power and can dominate those who have less bargaining power. This leads to pretty much every major problem we have today and have had over the last few millennia: sexism, poverty, racism and xenophobia, classism, war, homophobia, unchecked greed, even pollution, and so on. Hierarchy is an inherent power imbalance. So so long as we think it's necessary or natural, we would justify various ways to encourage that imbalance, and thus various types of inequality and limits to our freedom. Therefore, the solution is to work to dismantle hierarchies and strengthen equality. The more we remove these power imbalances, the better the society we can create. This starts with decolonizing our minds to realize that the master is not necessary in any way, shape, or form. Number two, furthermore, we need to create better stories and fiction that helps us see alternatives and thus be comfortable critiquing the current system. Number three, most importantly, we need to build tools that decentralize power, practice reverse dominance to encourage humility, and foster environments that make it easier to develop egalitarian societies. Now, I'm going to spend the rest of this news, probably over 10,000 words, it ended up being 20,000, describing why this is why this is, how I got there, and exploring the details. So buckle up. I know not everyone has the same love I have for long form content though. So I feel free to skip around. I tried the best to make each section roughly 300 500 words, so somewhat scannable as well. Furthermore, I plan on turning these into videos, a la what we have here. And FYI, I use the term hierarchy, but I could probably use terms like dominance and or coercive power instead. But hierarchy to me seems more clear and encompasses those terms as well. So I'm going to end it there. Like I said, I want these to be short videos because I have a lot of long form content everywhere else. So this is under 10 minutes. I think that's hopefully it's a good time. Um, if you're watching this after this is done, because nobody's in the chat right now. So if you're watching this afterwards, please feel free to let me know what you would like from this. Right? Is this a good format? Do you prefer me just reading through it, or do you want me to do like a director's cut where I kind of share what I was thinking as I wrote that stuff? I think I remember a lot of what I was thinking as I wrote a lot of this. Um, or if I'm, you know, thinking now because I've learned even a lot more even since I wrote this. So there's always more to add and more to change or things like that. So yeah, that's it for today. I think. Once again, let me know what you thought about this, what you would like to hear. Um, you can, if you want to read the whole thing, I'll put the link in the description. You can just read through yourself at your own pace, and come with questions too, right? If you have questions, if you want to debate or whatever, feel free to hit me up, put that in the comments or whatever. And I really want to do this more because I've received a lot of great insight from this, right? A lot of people or a lot of great feedback from this. The few people that read this were like, "Oh wow, this is amazing," right? You taught me about so much, but I want more people to hear this, right? Um, and I think there is a lot that can be said. There's a lot that can be learned, and I'm on this learning journey as well. I don't know everything. I'm just a lot of this stuff you'll see in my sources all the way at the bottom. Right, I have a lot of sources here. All right, this is all the stuff that I've got this stuff from. So you know I didn't just come up with the stuff one day and just like, oh yeah, I have all the answers. No, I've got like I've learned this stuff from everyone else, from all the other people out there, and I form my own opinions. So if you want to, talk about it and learn with me, let's do this. But yeah, I'll end it there. We're at 10 minutes. I think that's a kind of sweet spot on YouTube. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But we'll see. And have a great day. See ya. Bye bye.